Okay, YouTube says I'm live, and there's no reason I shouldn't believe it. So, hello everybody. The rumors of my early demise have been greatly exaggerated. I'm back trying to figure out what I'm going to do, but we're going to do something. So I'm going to wait for my chatters to gather in the box here. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes. If you're watching the recording, scoot ahead, drag the little bar underneath the video over to your right to get past where you start seeing some content instead of me sitting here tap dancing. Stephanie, hello, welcome. Welcome. Letting people kind of gather here before we start. I'm just going to start in gently and show some new things that I've gotten over the last month or so. There's Joan. How you doing? Good to see you. Ibarra. Hi. Oh, Nisi. Hi. And Janine. It's good to see some familiar names in there and new ones. Hey, Messy. Hey, Yvonne. It's great to see everybody. It's been a crazy few months. Hey, Jude. Hey, Jude. I know I won't sing. Dave always says, if I sing something, Gala. Not yet, my friend. Not yet. Hey, Lily. When Dave hears me sing, like if I'm singing along with Carrie Underwood, for instance, he'll say, hey, babe, you know why Carrie Underwood sings that song? I said, what do you mean? He said, so you don't have to. Keep my day job, of which I have many these days. Acme, hi. It's good to see everybody here. Fiber Goddess, hello. Oh my gosh, I know. It's been crazy. I'll give you a little bit of a summary here when we get people settled in. Hey, Rihanna. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary for me, but probably out of the ordinary for most people. Hi, Heather. Welcome. Judy. I've probably forgotten people's names versus their screen names. Hi, Marilyn. Kathy. Barney's already here. Or Andy. I forget who's who. Okay. We'll just get started here. So just to give you a little nutshell of what's going on, I think most everybody probably, I have a severe case of CRS. I had my knee replaced on August the 2nd. Ah, see, you conjured me up to be here. It's another Judy. It's great to see you guys. So I had my knee replaced August 2nd. That went well. I went back to work the last week of October. And I think it was like the 4th of November. My mom called me early, whatever Saturday morning that was. Hey, Eminem. Good to be missed. Hi, Linda. My mom called me, and I knew when she called it was too early for a regular call. And when I heard her voice, I knew something was wrong. And she just said, Patty, I'm having trouble breathing. So I said, can you unlock the front door? If you can do it, and sit down and try to relax. If you can't do it, forget about it. Gail, you're telling some of my secrets. Maybe a frog reaction group here or something. Hey, Liz. So anyway, I called 911, called my brother and nephew, called the neighbors, got in the car and started heading over there. Nutshell, she ended up at the Johns Hopkins emergency room and admitted for 9 days. She was in severe congestive heart failure. She was about a week, no, maybe 6 days in. Hi, Eve. they decided that, well, we knew that she needed her aortic valve replaced. We've known that for years. She's refused the procedure because she said she's 94 now, but every year she said, well, I'm 88. I feel fine. Why should I risk a surgery? Well, you can't really argue with that. So anyway, she put it off and put it off, and now she no longer has a choice. So they went in and did a heart catheterization. They went in through her wrist on one day, about the sixth day or so she was in there, I guess. And just to check to see, what the layout was of her heart and if she could have the procedure. And they came up finding a large, the main one of the main arteries that goes up the front of the heart was 90% clogged. PM, hey. So they shipped her from the Bayview Hopkins location downtown to the cath lab the next day, went in the other wrist and went in and put 2 stents in this artery to open it up. The doctor said he's so impressed by how strong she is and how she sailed through the procedure and that it went textbook perfect. So 2 heart caths, 2 stents, 9 days in Hopkins. They wanted to release her to, hi, Diane. They wanted to release her into rehab, which she did not want to go. So I said, why don't you come home for a while with Dave and I until you get situated? So she's here with us again. We have people staying in and out of her house. But she's going to be with us for the foreseeable future. She had tons of appointments, tests. We had to do a dental test. Hi, Ann. We had to do a dental test to get a clearance to make sure there was no infection in her mouth before she did the aortic valve replacement, because that infection, like it would in a knee replacement, would go right to the artificial valve. So she got the dental clearance. That went well. Tomorrow we go to a Hopkins facility to get a particular CAT scan that will zero in on the arteries in her groin to make sure one or the other or both are suitable for the procedure, because they have to drag the artificial valve compressed, but through an artery to get up to the heart. So that's what we're working on now. I got nurses in and out of the house, physical therapy in and out of the house, chasing paperwork that I was ready to choke somebody over, trying to get her a discount. They put her on a new med called Eliquis. It's a blood thinner. That's crucial that she takes it right now. And if she took something else like warfarin that's much cheaper, we'd have to get her out of the house and go for blood work every week. It would really limit her diet even more than it is now. So at this point, if Dave's home, if Dave is not traveling, he's traveling this week. But even when he was home and working, if we had an appointment, I can no longer get her safely down the steps and into the car by myself. So my brother drives about 35 minutes from his house over to our house. And bottoms up, Gayla. Bottoms up, my friend. A couple of those and I'll be ready to tango. So he's coming over tomorrow. We get her in the car. We got to set a folding chair down half a flight of steps where there's a landing for her to sit and take a break. And we have her transport chair that we take with her. So we got to get her loaded up for that. And I'm trying to get her, hey, Devin, trying to get her on a program that will help with the Eliquis. That's what I started to say. It's so much information jumbled in my little head. And, one brain cell bouncing around in there anymore. Ain't getting it. But anyway, so the Eliquis is $550 a month on a 94-year-old's fixed income. So I'm working on paperwork to get it for her for $59.95 a month, which she qualifies for. But it's like they want your firstborn, a quart of blood, and your neighbor's dog. I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass, honestly. But trying to get all those papers, they're telling me, no, we have to hand those to your mother. I said, she's housebound, 94-year-old, waiting on a third heart procedure in 2 months. So anyway, now I got to get a power of attorney so that I can get this stuff done and get it filed. Plus, I'm back to working full time. Forgot to mention that, Diddy. Oh, and let's not forget, on the 21st of November, guess who came down with COVID? while trying to take care of her. Yeah. So there you go. That's what I've been doing. So, um, Saturday and Sunday proved to be a little bit down days because I'm not working. When I got to, take care of her, get the meds, get the nurse, get the physical therapist, help her with the shower, get the meals, get the meds, all that kind of stuff, plus working, a little stressed by the end of the day, and there's nothing left for me to stream. So anyway, I'm here now. For what it's worth, it may not be worth much. I promise you nothing. I make no promises. But anyway, here we are. So let's get on to happier thoughts. But she's doing really well. All things considered, we're keeping the fluid down around her lungs and in her lungs, because if she wasn't on all these meds, she would basically be drowning in her own fluids at this point. So anywho, that's where I've been and where I'm going and what I'm doing. Okay, moving on. I think actually, now that I laid these down here, I think I showed you these guys and maybe even used them in some jelly prints on the last stream I did, which God knows how long ago that is. But these are hot glue stencils. If you follow Robin McClendon, she makes these. A lot of people make them, but she makes these in her little tribal kind of marks. And if you're on her Patreon, she has whole videos in there and shows that this little cheat sheet that she uses to make some symbols. And I tried to get fancy and do one with scripting. That's easier than it sounds. But, I got a couple that look something like scripting-ish. All right, here's another one. But they make really cool prints. And the way the paint blobs underneath of these. Had a bird's eye view of the play, Jude. It was great. There's another little scripty symbol. And that one ish. Robin did one something like that, but way better than that. But anyway, they're really cool and they're fun. Just do them on like wax paper or parchment. Let them cool. Then take the parchment when you get it down there and then kind of flatten it so they're not so round on the jelly plate. If you can picture putting paper over a fat bead of hot glue, you're not going to get a cleaner print. But you smash it, sandwich it between two pieces. It's a little hot, and just rub it around to try to get it flattened. And you can see how these are not, it's not a bead. They're flat. See? So have a go with that. And these are just some new little ditties that I've gathered along the way while I still would like to play with them. And maybe I will get a chance today. But I watch Denise Love on Skillshare. She is an artist and photographer, and she likes the little, hey, Gail. Evie, did I say hi to you? I think I did, but hello. Hello, and anybody I missed, hello. She is responsible for me spending some of this money, which she blames me for that too. A couple things I pointed her to. But this is a different type of Yupo paper. It's mineral paper. So it's kind of like the Terra Skin that I've used before, but she was using some on some different projects she was doing in classes. And she puts out a class a week or more. And they really appeal to me. Most of them are abstract, watercolor, charcoal, acrylic, different stuff like that. But these are just 3 different sizes of the Yasutomo. That's the one that makes the silver black ink and other stuff that I use. Right, that's just mineral paper. It's made out of rocks. Believe it or not, it's true. So let me put this up here. And then this is Nara paper, which I have some, and this has been out for a little while. This is the craziest wrapping on these things. But it's for alcohol ink and whatever else you happen to throw on it. And it's similar to Yupo. However, it's like plasticky, thick kind of paper. But this will not stain. And she has a whole class on this Nara paper. So I got a couple reams of that. Just to have on standby for when I get the time or inkling. But it does not, you can wipe anything off of it. Yupo, you can wipe a lot of stuff off of it. But if it's a staining watercolor, it's going to stain the UPO. It doesn't come all the way off of it. So that was an interesting little tidbit. And then I did have the time to take a class that I was dying to take from Aria on Instagram. She is Vintage Fables. And I showed an ink kit that I bought from her. She's in Italy. She lives outside of Florence, Italy on a mountainside. It's gorgeous. She makes a lot of her own inks and watercolors and does really cool watercolors. I actually got a triptych of ones that she used that have my pictograph stencils in them. So she uses foil and, you know, some metallics and a lot of the blue, purple colors that I like. But anyway, check her out, Vintage Fables on Instagram. And during this class of the natural inks that she made, it was really interesting. And some of them are really simple to do. And I'm telling you, the first thing on my list is to make some of that, crap, what's it called? It's like a copper patina ink. That's that killer turquoise that I love with copper wire. And I think, I forget what goes in there, vinegar, maybe something else, in a mason jar with a rock on it to push it all down underneath the liquid. And you just let it sit on your desk and just swirl it around and shake it every day for maybe a couple of months until you like the color of it. It's awesome. However, one thing she uses a lot in her art is sepia, the color sepia, watercolors, the ink. So I got the Ecoline ink, and this is deep sepia, sepia deep, Ecoline number 440. And I got this while I was at it because why not? Same color. And then she loves this Cotman, which is the not the artist grade watercolor, but this color sepia and Cotman she uses a lot, and it gets mixed with her blue colors that give really stunning turquoisey green kind of colors. But check out her class. It was not very expensive, and it was really informative. She's got a beautiful, you know, speaking voice to listen to. I've taken classes before when I want to put noise canceling headphones on and try to figure it out just from the video, which some of you may be doing now. Gayla, can you hear me? But anyway, I digress. I want to show you this. This is tilting on the side here. Charles Shackleton. I don't know, Char, if you're in chat or am I saying Char or share? Char. Yeah, share. Sorry. I have another friend, Char. I get them mixed up all the time. But she sent me this cool little card with a note in it and a little artist training card. It's got a jelly print on it. But she makes these, she knows I like raku, and she made these little raku vessels for me and sent them in like a plastic Tupperware container with all this padding in it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So this is going to go somewhere on my desk and hold something precious, but I haven't figured out what that is yet. And then she made me this larger one. Isn't that gorgeous? I love raku. Beauty muss. That one I could even put some small brushes in. And speaking of brushes, so thank you, Cher, if you're listening. Who's here? Susan. Hi, Susan. So I got a couple of these brushes. They've been around. I've seen several people using them, but this is one of the brushes I believe that Aria was using. And she does a type of scripting, like freestyle, asemic writing, I think she refers to it as, and uses this long, look how long and pointy that bad boy is. So this is the Tintoretto 1408 3/0 size. Are you going to focus? Probably not. Probably not. There we go. 3/0 Tintoretto 1408. I got these from Jackson's. And then I got this one's the same one, but it's a size 0. But look how big the 0 is. Same thing. Made in Italy. And then I saw where, hey, Violet, Nancy. Oh, thank you. Hey, Violet. Golden had a video out on YouTube, gosh, maybe a month ago, where they came out with some new high flows, and I was starting to really like using the high flows on the jelly plate and getting that beaded up kind of a look because they resist that. April, hello, because they resist the gel plate itself. It beads up on them. So instead of getting a smooth color all over the paper, you get a really cool dotted texture over everything. And the longer you let it sit there, Dorothy, Fran, hi. Long time for sure. Glad you're here. The longer you let it sit, the more it kind of beads up and beads up and beads up. So it's kind of a cool effect. So they came out with new high flow colors, and I always wondered, like, why wouldn't you have iridescent bronze and high flow? And now they do. So Mama got a big bottle of that, which is 4 ounces. You know, you got to shake them up. They're very watery. They're very high flow for sure. They're like used for airbrush and stuff. But anyway, that was one of the new colors. Thank you, Goldens. And then I got an interference blue and an interference gold. You can kind of see on the labels when they hit the dark bits in the background. They're kind of clear, and when they flash, unlike how Gala flashes when we're in a bar, but when they flash, you see a different color. And then these two, I had to try these, light phthalo green and light phthalo blue. So I got a couple of those to try one of these days. And also from Jackson's, these are 100 sheets. These were only a few dollars, but it's the cotty paper in like a swatch size, and it's 100 little pieces of it. And when Aria is doing her classes and testing the inks to see when she wants to take them out of the vinegar mixture and get them, you know, kind of neutralized to use at a certain stage, she'll test the ink on a swatch and write down the timing. I don't think she has a YouTube channel, Kathy. She's on Instagram, and on Instagram she is Vintage Fables. And her class was on the Jean Oliver website. If you guys know Jean Oliver, she has different artists and herself that have classes there. And that's where her ink class was. Oh, you're welcome. So anyway, I got a little pack of these 100 sheets of swatches. Yeah, why not? And then a while back, you guys probably saw Robin use some really cool red paper. Well, I beat it out of her. She posted it somewhere in one of her sites for me. This is what it is on Amazon, but I will tell you, this is not cheap paper. Right, that's it on Amazon. XUAN, red XUAN paper. It's a small roll. It's about, well, I don't know. I know some men that would tell you that's 10 inches. That's bullshit. I'm thinking 6. 6 3/4. At least I was closer. So anyway, this is it's got plastic around it. I didn't want to open it because I think it's going to unfurl. But it's a really pretty textured paper. And she had done some gold stenciling with modeling paste through it on there. Looked really pretty. We're going to have to be trying that one of these days. And, oh, I got a couple of these watercolors. I should probably swatch these so you can see what they are. These are from Dreamland Watercolor, and they are color shifts, but they're really different colors. Divination and Spell. And you can kind of see the shift just in the top of the color on the pan there. They're really pretty. They're very nice. Oh, and I got a couple new ones from Nibs. I don't know if I showed these before. Indian Summer, Ancient Vessel, Abyss. I think that was all in one of her sets that she did. You know how to say that? Good on you. Hang on, hold still. Is that an M or an N? Amarstoppy? Who the hell knows? I don't know. Hey, Martha. Hey, Lori. Yeah, so both of these remind me of lightning, but with the different colors. Hey, Gayla, I had to laugh. So one other thing that I got, well, two items, but one other place, Boulder Colors. Boulder, like Boulder, Colorado, with a U. You can find them on, it's bouldercolors.com, but they also are on Instagram. They came out with a pigment salt, right? We've seen those before, but the colors were really cool. So I got one. By the time I got there, the large jars were sold out. I wanted two of the 5 or 6 they came out with. This one's called Red Cabbage. And it even says this side up on the label, because if you don't, you're screwed. But I mean, that's what it looks like in the container, right? That one's a little more gritty than the other one. And I sprayed water on some bee paper, and just sprinkled some in. And that's the color burst that came out of it. It's really cool. I mean, you've seen a ton of these different ones. Ken Oliver has them. What's the other ones? The first ones that came out of Europe years back. Color burst. I don't remember. But anyway, this one is more like powder. It's not quite as gritty. And I sprayed water on 2 pieces of paper, sprinkled this one upstairs to finish up what I had to do before I came down. And this one just kind of like had its own mind to it. And I guess I'm going to call this one Gala. Looks like it was made for you. There's a little bit of water dripping. I'm just going to let it run and see what happens. But look at the colors in there. That one's called Butterfly Pea Flower. But look at those colors. Yeah, no, I'm loving that. But yeah, so Gayla, this took shape just for you. Kind of like Pea's branch on the PM Artist Studio jelly printing session this morning. We had a little discussion about her branch she was using. But anyway, that's what they are. Love them. I'm going to keep those handy. And last but not least, and we'll probably play with these a little bit. This is still wet. KP sent me a set of Robin's latest art foamies. And I don't know if some of you, I'm guessing some of you already bought these. However, if you decide that you want to buy them today because of all the crap that's been going on with me, KP has graciously extended the offer to, if you buy both sets, there's 2 different sets of 4. I'll show you these. And these are like the textile and Kuba cloth and all those African prints that Robin collects in fabrics. That's what these are. And they go with her previous set that were larger stamps like this, that were also African tribal fabric patterns that she created. So they come in sets of 4. Let me show you one set. I had to divide them in the I had to look it up in the website because I opened them up, like ripping them open, like, oh my God, let me see these. I'm like, oh crap, I don't know which set. So I had to go back there and figure it out. But this is one of the sets. I love these. This one has this design. These just go with each other so well. And you've probably seen Robin and KP do videos with these, how they made like sheets of wrapping paper with different inks and paints on these to stamp. And also Bonnie Barker, who is, oh, Bonnie, what's your name on Instagram? Monoprinted on Instagram, monoprinted with no ED, just D. She made some I don't know if she did fabric or large pieces of paper. Here's another one. Right? And you can see these are different sizes, but like mosaics with the straight edges, you can kind of squirrel together any kind of repeat pattern, that you want to get these to touch and kind of work together. And then this little guy to pop in the little holes if you want to, or make a border or whatever. This is one set. This is the second set. Love this one too. I mean, they're so usable for backgrounds. And if you like anything kind of tribal or repetitive pattern, you're going to love this. There's this one. This one. And then this small one. And if you buy both sets of these and put in the comments section when you check out Patti Parrish, then you'll get this one that is it's free, but it's a little line of Robin scripting that's included. If you buy both of these, put Patti Parrish in the comments and you'll get the scripting little ditty here. So I'm going to play with these, I believe. I may do a collage depending on what kind of time we got. Let me see who's motion detected at garage. Probably a delivery guy. They know me my first name basis. Or the occasional car that goes by and it's a little further off the road where the camera picks it up. Yeah, well, we'll worry about that later. So one way that Robin uses these, which I never thought about doing before. I've done it since I've seen her do it. But hang on, where did I hide those inks? Hold the phone. There they are. Oh, we'll try some of these Jane inks too. We can try all kind of inks on here. These are the Creative Juice inks, Legends of the Sea. It's the ones with the sheen that you've probably seen Z use them. I did swatch these when I first got them though, way back when. Hey Dana, thank you. Am I missing anything in chat? So hang on, let me grab a couple of these. Maybe one of those. Maybe a couple of those. That should certainly be enough. But is it? So, let's see. What do I want to print those on? You know what? I bet it would run. Oh, shit. I'm looking at this really thin Unru paper. But I bet those inks would run. But there's only one way to try it. Just do it. Do it, do it, do it. Oh, maybe we'll do it on a black paper too with some metallics. Let me pull this out to remind me because you know how that goes. You know how it goes. So I need something underneath of this. No, I don't. I want it to absorb, so maybe it'll go right into this newsprint. See how I'm thinking on the fly there? Isn't that impressive for one brain cell? Our Patty is an art supply pusher. Well, I'm not holding a gun to anybody's head, as no one held a gun to mine. However, get this back further from me. I keep pushing it. Hey, Kate. I just went through a few new products that I gathered on my downtime and told a little story about where I've been, which isn't that riveting, honestly, but you can see that on the replay. And now I'm going to play with Robin McClendon's newest art foamies. These came out a while back. And I was going to stream about these and came down with COVID and blah, blah, blah. Life happened and I have not been able to do that, but I'm going to do it now. What is this one? Oh, this is Tanzanite. I'm going to use one of these Levinson brushes. Trying to see which one this is, but of course I can't tell you which one it is, but it's the Wanji bamboo. It's light as air. It looks like it's clunky and heavy. It's literally as light as air. So these are, Robin has been using these inks. I got a couple. She uses the Kirasami one, which is like a real pale gray. That's the one that she was using. Yeah, it's Kirasami. It's a pale gray. By Pilot. And here's, I don't know, Fuyu Sogun. Watch your mouth, Gayla. I don't know. The correct pronunciation. Dr. Cynthia, hi. Oh, thank you. And this one is like a tealy blue. Shocker. Tsukiyo. So we're just gonna see what happens here. And this may be a mistake of a paper to use, but we're gonna give it a go. I had a lot of neuropathy when I was on chemo too, Eminem. It all went away though. Mine was mostly in my feet, but it thankfully went away. So we're just going to make a little, she just paints it on with the brush. I don't know if you guys hear a beeping sound in the background. It sounds like a truck's backing up outside, but probably my UPS man overshot my address. I don't know if it's going to work right on this. Hey, Janet. That's a good reason to break it, Janet. I know. What is that? Afro-sensible sister. Welcome. That's a new name. Oh, now see, it is a little bit watered down and it went through because this is so sheer. But look at the sheer imprint that'll make on there. That's what I thought it would do. Okay. Let's grab another and another color. That truck's still backing up. I'm going to swirl that out of there a little bit. I don't cross-contaminate the inks too badly. I would have never thought to do this. Thank goodness the people smarter than me are doing the thinking. See, depending on the design and where these fibers hit in here, it's kind of disrupting the pattern a little bit. But it just makes it look a little more aged, which is what these are supposed to look like in the first place. I need a paper towel. Where's the paper towel? I'm all discombobulated. It's like I've never crafted before. But apparently, still can buy supplies. These work great on the gel plate. Of course, with regular ink stamps, like you would expect them to be used on. Or to not just on the jelly plate, but if you can use your jelly plate like tractor trailers. Oh, Gala. What was I saying? You can use your gel plate like a palette with paint and brayer it out and then stamp these in the layer of paint. So you're stamping with acrylic instead of ink. So you can use these a whole different way. And see, I had so much ink on that one. That one really ran. This might not be the greatest way to get a clean impression of these so you can see what they look like. Let's go to the metallic ones. I heard a thump upstairs. That's a walker going across the hardwood floors upstairs, if you can hear that background noise. Oh, you know what? Let's try some of this high flow. And we'll use the black paper. Why don't we? And let's see, what am I going to use? Do I have a little gel plate hanging out here? Right before I got my knee worked on, I rearranged things and didn't use them for a long time. So now I got to try to remember where the hell I put everything. Let's just use this little bitty one. Brayer. Thank you. This is just a little oh, this is a round one. I guess it doesn't matter. All these stamps will fit on it. No, they won't. Let me grab the next one up. Here we go, 5x7. You can't go wrong with that. Well, I can, but it's going to work for what I'm going to try to do now. Oh, look, she's brand new. How did that happen? All right, so let's try a little bit of this. I'm curious, Patty, I'm going in for knee replacement on the 7th. Any advice? Do the physical therapy. Hurts like hell, but if you don't do it, you won't tear the scar tissue every day, and you won't get the mobility that you need to walk correctly. Hey, Debbie. Thanks, Norma. I'm wondering if this, because it's watery, remember how I make the spray of the acrylic, the fluid acrylic bronze, and put water in it with a couple little BBs to shake it up, and how it separates that it's bright turquoise in the bottom and then you see the metallic on top of it. I'm wondering if that's how this comes out, because if you look at this swatch closely, you can see that turquoisey color in the background there against the white pieces. Come on. Focus for Mama. No. Well, even if it won't focus, there you go. You can see that little bit of a tinge of turquoise under there. So I'm anxious to see what this one, you know what, there's probably, yep. Well, that never works for me. That's okay. I got a tool. All right, there we go. I hate those little round buttons. You mean this twist top? I actually like that closure. I mean, you get that little paint booger on top there every time you got to pick off, but you know, who hasn't done that? So let's see if I can, let's try this one. I don't know if you can tell, but that is very watery. It's flowing high. Thing you, oh, the cap. Oh, those hateful thing. I know, but I mean, I guess they got to seal it. Nobody would ever get a full bottle by the time it got shipped. Oh, save the boogers. Oh, look at you. Oh, and look, you probably can't see it, and I can't lift this up right now, but that's got a lot of turquoise showing in that where I just pounced it off there. Ain't you pretty? I want to have some little drops there. Look, now I have little stars where I drag the drops around. Oh, talk about being out of practice. That's okay. Get back on the horse slowly. Oh, speaking of back on the horse, anybody watching Yellowstone? See? Oh, shit. Yeah, Gail, I said shit. Go ahead and write me up for one. We'll swatch these around. Hey, Brad. Oh, that's almost all turquoise on there. That's so cool. I'll have to do it on something else so I can hold it up for you to see. Let's try it on deli next time and see if it works. So let's try the scripting one so you can see what that looks like. That's a little hard to see. Maybe I should just do this. Let's not complicate it too much because there you go. Look at you. Oh, you're so smart. I don't say that often or have the opportunity to. I think that's upside down. I think that might go. I guess it could go either way. For some reason, my brain tells me it wants to go that way, but that's the little scripting stamp. And what that looks like. Now let's see. Well, it's funny. That one came out mostly bronze on there. Isn't that? It's something about how absorbent this newsprint is. What is the name of this collection of stamps, please? And where from? They are Art Foamies, and they are the newest ones from Robin McClendon. I don't know if there's a particular name, but if you put her... Yeah, Cloth Textures 1 and 2, I believe they are. Yeah. So there's Cloth Textures 1, set of 4, right? And there's 2. Textures 4, 2 for another set of 4. Yep. Let's just get each one of these a little sample of what it looks like down here. And then maybe we'll start to play with the gel plate. Let's see if I do this one on here. That's so crazy that that comes out bronze on here, but almost all turquoise on there. It's like magic. Let me pull this out here so I got more places, more elbow room. Lordy. I'm telling you, when you don't do this for just a little tiny bit, that's all it takes to really hose me up. What's this one? Did we do that one on here? No. Let's do that one. And see, just use this as an ink pad, but then your stamp is acrylic instead of inks that you might only have that are like water-based or something. Susan, if you want to order these art foamies, just put my name, Patti Parrish, in the comments. And that will clue, so all the coupon codes have expired because I'm way behind because of everything going on. But KP said she would be happy to honor that for everybody. It's funny on this new gel plate, this doesn't beat up like it does on a very used, unconditioned gel plate. I just realized that. Let's go down here. This bronze is probably my favorite acrylic color from Golden's. It's gold, but it's not. It's not copper. It's bronze. Yeah, but it doesn't go in a discount code. She said it put it in the notes section or comment section when you're checking out. Did I just put that back in there? I did. I'll just make a long streak of that. But you can take this, and when you get in a rhythm, you can cover a piece of paper pretty quickly. Jan, thank you. I love metallics on black. Here's one of these little itty bitties. Let's put a little itty bitty right in there. See, that would be cute to just make a little itty bitty border just around the edge of whatever. See? It's nice. Here's the other one. Here's the other border one. Now, I'm not going overly crazy about lining these up, as you can see. Precision has never been my strong point, right, Gayla? And see, I mean, even on a collage or anything, just going around the edge of the page, you know, that goes pretty quick and gives you a really cool effect. Mama likey. Just put something in here. I love the borders. And here's that one. I mean, you could even, you can kind of see every one of them printed out. And then let's flip this over. And let's just do this, just for gigs. Shits and giggles, as I like to say. Go ahead, write it up, Gayla. I don't know. It's the holidays. You're going to get maybe more than usual. I don't know why. Hope I rocked that one too far. Got a little boo-boo on there. And of course, they aren't even close to being a border, right? Just try not to put that bottom down there. Right. Easy peasy. A quadruple. It's more of a sledgehammer sort of game. Well, you know, I can't argue with that. Finesse is not my middle name. Trying to catch up if I miss anything in chat. If you're chatting to me, put it all in all caps so I can find you. Let's try see if I wouldn't have blobbed that there. We could have kept going and made that a whole sheet, but you know how that goes. Let me just try to pick this up on here. Just to clean off most of the gel plate. Yeah, tango's my specialty. Especially at Oliver Wilde in New York City with my new partner. Yeah, okay, that's just picking up the excess that was on my plate. My very clean, brand new virgin plate. Won't hear me say that word very often. Okay, let's what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. 2:50. It's only been an hour. Okay. We can go a little further. I think I'm going to get out a bigger gel plate. It's on one of my glass mounts. Not so slippery. Oop, get off of there. Oh, before, I don't know if I should say this online or not, but I'm gonna, because it's just me. Before all hell broke loose here, we went to, is that the one I got our training class for concealed carry. Now that's an old gnarly jelly plate right there. So got our license going there. Not that I will, but it's nice to have while we can get it for not having a good reason to get it. Some of you may not agree with that, and that's okay. But anybody breaks in our house meaning to do us harm, I got no problems convincing him that was the wrong idea. She's hanging in there, Jan. I the first part of the video I explained what all's going on with her. But she's hanging in there, looking for an aortic valve replacement somewhere near the end of this month, assuming her CAT scan Monday goes okay. Joan, you of all people throw me under the bus. That's okay. I don't mind. So let me think here. What do we want to do? Okay, thanks. That goes over here. That's a high flow. I just got a couple bottles of paint that have been sitting out here forever. Oh, you know what? Let's do bronze and a little bit of this black. Just for gigs. Let's try this. A little bit of black. Oop. That's just the Master Touch. Got it 50% off for $6.50 for that glug of paint. It's not bad. Oh, really? These jackasses. Okay, we're back. Jackasses have been deleted. I think that's way too much paint. Does that sound familiar? Now I'm going to use the acrylic bronze, not the high flow. Well, that's acrylic as well, but the fluid, not high flow. It's very confusing. And you know what? Just for craziness, I'm going to put a little of this high flow. I know, right, Judy? This is the high flow blue interference. And we got another lid. Oh, this one's got one of these little clever things on it there. So this we'll probably only see when it reflects off the black. And we'll see what happens. Ooh, very high flowy. So this may be a mud pile. We don't know. Holy crap, that's way too much paint. The hell was I thinking? Ah, I'm really out of practice, aren't I? I'm going to put it on the back of this here. It's kind of pretty though, but this is a lot of paint. Holy crap. Let's see what I can do with this. Way, still too much. Why did you let me do that, Gayla? Well, were you going to paint the entire basement with that? Well, I could, now that you mention it. Holy crap-a-noli. And what's this? Thread or hair? I don't have any hair that long, so that's not mine. Sweet Moses. Well, I made a holy mess out of that. Which maybe that's what I wanted to do. Okay. Let me grab a piece of deli and see what happens with this. So it's going to lift some paint off of here. That damn truck's out there backing up again. Probably another pallet from Golden's he's trying to unload. Waiting for my signature. Patty, I tried using your name as a code to the free ROM stamp. I give me a message that the code is invalid. You don't put it in the code. You put it in the comments or the notes section. Try that, Nisi, and let me know. And I'll send KP a note and let her know if that doesn't work. But she said to put it in the comments. I can't find the comment section. Let me try looking again. If it says comments or notes, just somewhere we can write something to KP in there that's outside of the order. Sometimes more is better. Sometimes more is stupid. Comments to yourself, Gayla. Patti Parrish discount code. Put in the comment section. This is going to, I'm going to run off the edge here. I'm just going to make this so that the print coming up has that whole print on, had that whole color on it. But see, if you kept going like that, you could make some cool little wrapping paper or tissue to stuff in gifts or something coming up. I mean, that doesn't look so Christmassy, but you know, you get what I'm trying to do. Usually notes or comments is in the area of the checkout pages. Yes, right. Oh, did it work, Nisi? Please say it worked. I wonder, you know what? I'm just going to pick this up with black. I don't know how much metallic or that iridescence in there, or the interference is in there. So I'm just going to pick it up on black. I know there's a lot of black paint in there, but we shall see. Hey, Susan. Good. You know what? I'm going to send KP a note that I'm doing this. Hang on one sec. Sorry. But you'll be glad I did this. Okay. Where is... What happened to the phone that's down here? I hear my... Oh, Jesus. I hear my phone ringing upstairs. Oh, great. It fell off its base. I usually don't answer the home phone anyway. Very few people call that number.
Hey, David, it's just Linda. I just thought I'd give you a buzz.
Except for Dave's sister.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Except for that one. I'm blind because I can't find a comment. Okay, hang on. I just messaged KP. And hopefully she'll get back to me soon. But keep that in mind. That if you want to order and you're going to get it both sets to get the free script and get the free script stamp. I'll keep an eye on this and see if she texts me back while I'm watching it so I can tell you what she's saying. The way she told me that, I thought it was something that you could do anytime, not just a certain day that she'd set it up. But it's probably me, Niecy. Let's see if she comes back to us. Oh, that's kind of cool. Got a little white boogers on it from what was under here before. That's all just texture. Can't hate it. You know what I want to do? I'm going to throw one of these. Well, let me do this. Let me do another little bit of black. Little bit of black. Sweet Moses. And put one of these inks. Let's try this one. This is one of the Jane's Sheening inks. Legends of the Sea. This one's called Mary Celeste. I don't know who she was, but apparently she's a legend of the sea. Got a little pipette. Let's throw a little bit of ink in here. I have no idea how these are going to do on the plate. But, like we say, oh, hey Z, she's a pirate. Oh, I like her already. Yeah, well, here goes nothing. And see where it's starting to beat up? Parts of the plate sticking out. I'm going to give that a little bit more time. I'm going to take some of that off of there. Still too much. See where it's starting to break through and bubble up? Good Lord, look at that mess. I wonder what would happen. Just use something open like this, surfboards maybe. I don't know if that's just going to be black or if that ate up all the ink. I think it did. I think it's going to have like a purple glow to it. I'm not going to mess up a stencil with that on it. We won't do that. I don't think that's going to be much to write home about. So I'm just going to, let's just get rid of that little boo-boo and act like it didn't happen, shall we? And next time I'm not going to put any paint down. Or if I do, it's not going to be black. And we'll just try the inks on there. Yeah, that black ate it all up. You can see some burgundy in there. I'm gonna let that dry and see if any of that sheen comes through all that crap that's on there. I'm telling you, when you haven't done this for months, it all seems like it's brand new. Hey, Kathy. Yeah, there's Moby Dick, Leviathan, Kraken, Bermuda Triangle, Fancy, The Sirens, Jolly Roger, Anne Bounty, Francis Drake, Ching Shai, I guess, or she, Blackbeard, and Mary Celeste. All right, let's get rid of that. Now let's try. What is going off now? Got all kind of alarms happening. 3. That's just a car going by. A lot of traffic out here for a Sunday. Usually never see a car go by. Would like to order art foamies, but doesn't see a comment section. The code space doesn't accept Patti Parrish. Yeah, I sent KP a message. So once this, if I don't hear from KP by the time the stream's over, I will send out a note on Instagram and Facebook and give everybody the lowdown of how to place that order and get the free scripting stamp. My apologies for that. That KP and I were talking a week or two ago, and that's when I was coming out of COVID and wasn't able to get to it anytime soon, even then. But all right, let's just try. Let's try something here. Let's do this. I'm going to grab a piece of this. This is really ooky. Ooky. Hang on. This is like soaking wet still. Oh, here, see where these stamps, when I stamped them off, how that bronze separated into the teal? See, I wasn't fibbing. I'm going to fib. It's going to be a lot bigger fib than that. I can promise you. Okay, let's try this. I'm just going to try it out, which I know this is going to beat up. Let's try one of these on here. Will it catch any of this ink? Enough to make a stamp? Oh, that's making the stamp impression on there. Oh, hang on. Oh, and that's all inked up. But look at that. I'm going to try to pick that up on here just because it's in front of me. It's very sheer mulberry paper. I don't know if any of the pattern looks like it's coming through a little bit. Kind of blurs in here because it gets sucked up into the fibers and you lose the clarity of the pattern. However, yeah, so the black paint killed the sheen on the ink pretty much. Note to self, don't do that. Don't do it. Let's try while I got these out. I've already got my, oh, great. Are these water soluble, Z? Or am I permanently smurfed? For the next month, that would be just about right. Let's do that, and let's do fancy. This is kind of a teal color. Now let's mix these up. Now let's do another one of these. Let's roll off what I got on there. So can you use inks on the jelly plate like an ink pad? Yes, you can. Oh, and they combine. That's a really cool, like metallic foresty green color. Ah, see, that's another cool little tricky trick. Will that pick up on black? I'm just going to use one of these. This is that cheaper black deli paper. It's kind of charcoal gray. It's not really black like I like it, but just for gigs, because I'm not sure this is even going to work. I want to pick that up on here and get that off the plate. Still some on the plate. So that's just sheening ink. That's not metallic. So I don't think that's going to come out. But even if it just makes those gray marks on there, I see a little purple showing. Well, let's let it sit here for a minute. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I never know. Get that little bit off of there. Oh, great. Now I got green on my hands too. Perfect. That's perfect. Let's see. See if these are baby wipe proof. Oh no, it's coming off. Don't anybody panic. Well, maybe panic a little. Good night, Nelly. All right, I think what I'm going to do is maybe switch gears. I'm not sure my brain is up to full capacity creativity. Let's try a collage instead. Maybe that'll click in the old brain a little bit more. Where's my book? I just had a journal sitting down here. I forget what is even in this one. Need some elbow room. Still working from home, babe. Working from home. We do go in occasionally. It's kind of volunteer basis if you want to go in or not. But now with my mom here with me, I am not going to go in to try to keep exposure down for her. We do not want her to get sick coming up on a heart procedure. That hopefully we find out she qualifies for. Okay. Spritz that bronze over the black paper. I don't have this in a spray bottle. I don't have this in a spray bottle. This is just the that's what I did all those marks on the black paper with, was that high flow. But I don't have that in a spray. I do actually think, there's a page in here where I might have had some of that. You probably can't tell this, but this spiral design down here on the bronze paper, see the turquoise coming through there? That's that bronze fluid acrylic. I really like that one. That one looks very, I don't know, sunsetty or it looks like that natural, like a natural horizon right there where it went from sea to sky. But that's just me. That's because I want to see. Flo, let's see. I better just time to say hello. Oh, thank you. Yep, I'm still. Yeah, fingerprint there. I'm still kicking. Thanks for checking in, Flo. I appreciate it. Actually, when I had COVID, that was my first symptom. Was I had a hard time breathing. I told Dave, and he stayed home from work that morning. It was started happening that one Sunday night, and he got up, and I still heard me. He said, "I'm going to stay home," and sure enough, let me pull this in a little closer. It wasn't too much further after that. I said, "You know what? Something's not right. Something is definitely not right." I like the monochrome aspect of that one. And he took me into urgent care, and sure enough, I thought I was having an allergic reaction, like my throat was starting to close up because I felt like, that's how I sound like I was breathing. This one, that's a big old no-no right there. I don't like that one at all. I thought there was one. Oh, here, this background of the lower part of this is fabric. But you can see where that bronze broke apart, and you can see the turquoise. That's one of the pigments that are that's in that. See all that turquoise there? That's this, and I think it was in a spray bottle that I sprayed on whatever and picked it up there. That's fabric too with the foiling on it. I don't know if you can say, it must have been. Well, it wasn't like it choked me out and I couldn't breathe at all. I just couldn't hold a conversation. I was really winded. These I did when I first came back from the knee debacle. This is some of that tape Bonnie made me. So cool. There's little mini stamps on there. Oh, this is one of my hot glue gun stencils. That's one of the scripting ones. See how it comes out kind of like watery looking underneath of it, where the paint kind of puddles underneath of and kind of resists the hot glue. This is one. This is a reverse of one. Let's see them in there. Oh, there we go. Well, let's have a go, shall we? Where did I put the bin with all those papers in it? Oh, here, this is drying. Oh, look, all you see is the sheen. You'll lose the other color of the inks on the black. I guess it has its uses, but it didn't wow me that much. Hang on, let's see what we got here. This is still one of the containers I packed for the retreat back in July, of just little bits for collaging. So I'll grab a couple of things here. This was, I don't remember what I got. Something that I ordered, somebody had this packed in. I like that. And here's a little strip of this stuff. I really like that strip. Oh, and here's more of this stuff. Maybe a piece of that. Oh, look, Dot. Just for you. I remember when I went on that exploration of the Stuart Semple white 2.0 and black 3.0. CB, Oakley's mom, God bless him, and made all those wet looking. See how that all beaded up on the plate like that? That's what that came from. I like this kind of colors too there. Let's just grab a few things. Here's some foil on a coffee stain paper. You never know where a little bit of that might pop in. Here's some red strips from all those cards I made at the retreat. One of those collages in that book are a bunch of these strips put together. Oh, look, more for Dot. Little piece of fabric. You never know. I pull out way too much when I go to do this. Kathy, I think you talked me into picking that up with that Nicolazo gold with that little bit of turquoise left on my plate. That was at the retreat. Oh, look, there's an Uncle Joe in the background with the bronze text stencil over it with just acrylic paint. You know what? My brain's kind of dead. Instead of doing a collage, I think I'm just going to look through these and see if anything, see what I remember doing and what we got going on here. Sometimes I like making papers better than I like doing anything with them. But I do really like that turquoise and that orange. It's always one of my faves. And my fave is turquoise and purple. So you can see some of those big circles from the white 2.0 and the PM Artist Studio, the three ring circus. See that behind there, that little shadow behind there? I already told you what that was and this. Yeah, a lot of crap. And I don't know what the hell I thought I was going to collage in those 4 days. Oh, Lordy. And that was one of my favorite little donut things that I made. But then when I pulled it apart and I looked at it, I was like, it's not all that great. And here's another PM stencil. I forget what this one's called. See the like little doilies in the background? This is on, what's that called? What is that called? Glassine. And I don't know why I decided to keep this, but there are some like brilliant moments of brilliance in there if you look really, really, really close. Kind of looks like that dendritic kind of thing and little flashes of shine in there. Here's the other piece of that paper I pulled the donuts off of. These are some of Robin's printables that I used my art foamies on top of it. Oh, and this is the one I sprayed with that spray acrylic paint metallic that see all the way down here, that webbing that Claire showed us about and at the retreat. Hey, Ellen. Nice to be seen. That's one of my art foamies. Let me see if, speaking of that, see if Kristen answered me back. Okay, let's see. Okay, so KP just got back to me, and she's going to set it up differently than what originally we thought. Let me write it on here. I've got 1,000 markers and pens around me, and you think I can find one that I actually want to use right now? Let's try this. Something big. Use. Oh, for Pete's sakes. For the love of Martha. Hang on. Is looking for something or just taking a trip down memory lane? A little of both. If I have a memory, whew, that's saying something anymore. I gotta tell you. Okay. Are you freaking kidding me? See? It's PTP Share 15. Forget that. PTP, no spaces, all caps. PTP, my initials, the word share, S-H-A-R-E. Let me type it in chat. PTP, S-H-A-R-E, 1-5. Right? That's now the code. Not something going into comments. That's the code. That'll be good until midnight tonight. You'll get 15% off whatever you order, plus the freebie. If you get both of Robin's sets, you'll get the script freebie. So that's even a better deal. PTP Share 15. That's the discount code. All right. So see, you had to wait, but you got a better deal. So if there's anything else you want, now's the time to stock up if you want to. Yep, here's that radio waves one again. I like that. This is with that silver black ink over top of one of Robin's printables. This was a foil job gone bad where it foiled the whole thing. This is just a little chunk of fabric to be foiled at some point. Actually, I'm going to separate this now that I'm in there. That doesn't belong in there. All these little bits. This is some that Sandra made me with a red paste that we can't figure out what paste that is. Sister, I would too. That's what I'm going to blame it on, although mine goes way back from that. But you can still smell that paint on here. It's got kind of a, I don't know, kind of a sweet smell. Remember I was taking the Stuart Simple white 2.0 that's real runny and making circles on the jelly plate. And I took the gold high flow and then just started rolling it on the brayer. So you get all different kind of circle images. There's a 3-ring circus again and some circles around that. That's a PM's studio stencil, but I don't remember the name of it. Cells or something, maybe? I don't know. Love this one with the purple and the teal and a little stencil in the background that's darker with that text. That's a Julie Faye found Balzer stencil with the text. I want to say it's called Believe. And these are just some deli paper. These make good background pieces to start out with. Oh, hang on. That's why I'm going backwards. I don't have my mini cam up there. There we go. All right. This one I really like. A little bit of purple in there. I think it's got that cell. I'm calling it cell stencil. But see how this white paint, see those little pinholes? That's what that Stuart Simple white paint does on the jelly plate. You roll it out and you just wait. And it starts to get that, all those little mini holes for like texture. I hope I have that one in here that's like my favorite jelly print of all time that I use that on. I'll have to look. Hey, Peg. Good to see you. I think that was aqueous effervescence. Oh, okay. I dumbed that down to cell, didn't I? Here's some other ones. And some other ones. These were some of the strippers, I think. Some of the first strippers, maybe. I say that about Gala, too. Then I find out she's not actually the first. And this one. This one has some shadows. All kind of stuff in there, if you can see them. See, the doilies are in there. And what is that on top of there? Oh, it's not Uncle Joe, but it's one of the ones like that that was more squared off than I can see over top of that. And this is more the Stuart Simples paint that kind of came out like all of a mush. This one, I like these when they have a little bit of metallic showing through them. They were so easy to do. This one, I mean, I love the stencil, but the paper itself, I'm going to put that over in my poo-poo pile. Here's what the hell am I keeping that for? This one's kind of cutesy for a background or something else to do another layer on one day. This, what is that? I see some of the, I'm calling them doilies too, Mariah. I don't know if that's right or not. See the one here with the little dots in it in gold? But I don't know what that is over top of it. That may be another brand altogether. I'm not 100% sure. If you recognize it, feel free to throw it out there. Oh, CB, you said something about Oakley's mom. Here's Knucklehead. Dave's traveling. So here's Knucklehead today. All curled up, missing his daddy. On the bed. Brat. He is getting better. I mean, he will be 5 in January, so. Oh, poor baby. My ass, poor baby. Oh, this was another color combination from Kathy. Oh, look, Dot. I never am looking white stripes. I got to put them back in the black and white stripe department, though. Which is where? I don't know. That'll go there for now. You know what? I love this. And I don't remember exactly what I did. But look how blurry that is. But it still has some ghostly images in there of Robin's stencils. See this one here? The circles with the cross in it. And the one that, I don't know if it's water or sound with these little waves. And then the one that looks like the sun. And a piece of the, one of the ones that's got a script character in it. But it's so airy and splattered and wispy. And I have no idea how the hell I did that. If you remember, please do write in. But look how textured it looks. It looks like it's relief, like 3D on it. And it isn't. I love that. This one came out pretty cool. This is one of Robin's printables. And then I took I think that's cave etching stencil. That's mine for my stencils. See how it kind of buckled up in the back and a little pinkish came through there. But that's from the toner. That pinkish color is from the toner getting wet on the printable. But I sprayed, I think that was one of those Lacoste or whatever they're called. The silver, British silver, I think it was called. It's kind of an odd champagne color. Oh man, I thought I brought a bottle of water down here and I don't have one and I'm thirsty, but I'm going to quit at 4 o'clock anyway. This was a piece of some mulberry paper that had little silver and gold flecks in it. And then I stamped and then foiled on top of it with some rubber stamps. I love that. This is another piece of handmade paper that I did the same. This was one of my art foamies or rubber stamp. I forget. Could have been my rubber stamp. I have it in both, I think. And then the script stamp over it in silver foil. And look at this. I don't remember where I got this. Z, did you have something wrapped in this that you sent me? I love that. I've been hoarding it. I love feathers. I love gold. I love purple and turquoise. Therefore, I love that piece of tissue. And I don't know, Z, if you did these or I did these with the stencil that you sent me. But I love adding these to collage. They're 3D. It's got a, you know, it's a molding paste that's metallic in there over a Chinese or something ease stencil. I don't know what that is. That's just a little piece of old scripting. This is the couple pieces of the joggles paper. You say, oh, it's joggles, the feathers. You know what? I think you're right. I do think I remember that now. Yep. Thank you. So this is cash register tape. Louise Hensel, Henzl, on YouTube. I think that's her name. She did something where she discovered out of playing where she put stamp cleaner that you'd clean a rubber stamp with on the rubber stamp and imprinted it on with no ink, just the cleaner on it on cash register tape, which is thermal, and then blew it dry with a heat gun. And it etches the stamp in it and it starts to turn the paper some shades of gray and blue. Some get darker, some don't. Like here's one that's a little bit more pronounced with the blue coming out of it. That's just a handmade paper, but who doesn't love that one? Some real loose kind of script, little metallic. And look, black and white dots. Can't hate that. Oh, and here's another one of my favorites. This is really textured with these foil squares on it. And this, yeah, same. Oh, look, see, here's another piece of that. Oh, this one had the Outback stamp on it. See those little rays? That was my, I remember cutting out the circles. There was stamp or my Outback stencil rather. That's too big for a stamp. But that, how did I do that? I'm going to have to look back. Look at how some of those, how fibrous and fluid. Will you focus for a moment? Or not? Maybe not. But it looks like it's got so much texture in it. And it's just flat paint. Cool. See that pink on the back and that green? Oh, hello. The green around the edges. That's using a water brush on my one of Robin's printables that I printed out here on my little inkjet printer. And the toner, when it hits the water, it turns that turquoisey and pink colors. Very interesting. Yes. See, okay, so here. This was probably the print that I did with those, right? See that how it lines up there? How did I do that? I do not know. I must find out. And then I just threw a variety. A little Robin sent me these because she knows I like black and white. These are from Jackie. Jackie Jimerson sent me these a while back. Black and white stripes of all sizes for Dot. This jelly print was one of my favorites of all times. And I did it with a couple shades of cheap metallic craft paints, blues and grays, I think, and used my mask. I think it's called Geometry. It's just circles, squares, dots, shapes. Did the jelly print on black paper, and then I put it through the foiler with this big scrolly filigree kind of design on it. And it only, see how the foil only hit little spots here? That was a really used piece of foil. And see what it does there? Puts that little gloss of tint over it. I like that better than a clean, crisp print of the foil myself. But, you know, I'm a little cuckoo. As far as I've gotten, also the lights are very pretty. We are so far behind on everything. We were going to put the tree up this weekend before Dave left, and it was just so much stuff to do yesterday. I said, you know what? Let's not kill ourselves. Let's just do it when you get back. So now it's going to be next week, assuming we have no disasters between now and then. So you can see that gold. Some ways you turn, that was a piece of that. Some ways you turn it, it looks all gold. But other ways you can see, well, not too many on this picture. You can see some of the blue. That was, I don't know, some kind of pearl stencil butter kind of stuff. Yeah. Robins, printables. Printables I jelly plated on. Get down in here into the, here's another little piece of that favorite print. It's one of her Robin's printables with her script stamps, stencils on it. And then I double dip the stencil so it's got a drop shadow. Groovy. Allie, hi. Well, I started demoing Robin's new art foamies, which are on artfoamies.com, Robin McClendon. And I also have a code. The sale has been over, but I've been unable to show them. And Kristen gave me a code for today. That is, let me write it in chat again. Hang on, where are we? PTP share 15. There's an Art Foamies discount code for today. If you buy both sets of Robins, you'll get a free script stamp, which is this one, and 15% off of anything that you buy on top of that. So here's some Isaac inks. I sprayed on some paper with the little holes in it. And this was just, this is Joan's stencil with her scripts in it. And I just put gold paint on the jelly plate, picked up a print on a piece of black paper, and then picked up the stencil. And this was the pickup from the plate. And I love how bubbly and all it looks. Bubbly. Here, bubbly. This is all kind of little bits and pieces. I'm not going to go through all of that stuff. Surfboards, I like to cut those out. Here's a little piece, one of Robin's stencils that I double dipped on that green artist's masking paper on the rolls. S-Hand, can you share the name of the site where I can use that code? It's artfoamies.com. Hand, it's, hang on. Artfoamies.com. And the ones I was showing was Robin McClendon's stamps. And here's where I was playing until I dropped my brayer on the piece of paper, all the different impressions of her latest Art Foamy stamps, little border stamps that you can do. This other border over here. And then here, if you want to do like a repetitive thing, you can just kind of make your own little wrapping paper or whatever. Use them on the jelly plate, use them with ink pads, brush on ink, all kind of good stuff. So I always like this grungy circle, and this, I cut it out like this to include my art foamy on there of my pictographs, but it's always too big for me to use on my pages. Anyway, here's Art Foamy stamped. This is one of the Julie Faith Van Balzer Art Foamy stamp text. Little pictograph strips. These are some of what Robin calls elements, where she'll just take leftover paint on her brush and just make some kind of marks, and then use those and take a strip of these or a block of these and throw them in a collage. It's a nice little touch. This, I just took rice paper and took black sumi ink and made stripes all across it and then ripped it. Throw that in there because you know I like some black and white stripes. You're welcome, Flo. This is a piece of glassine, and these were Robin's previous, her initial set of art foamies that had different texts in them. I just thought that came out looking really cool. I just blopped them anywhere because I wouldn't use this as a whole piece. I'd rip out little sheets of it, little pieces of it. But some of her scripts are really cool. Ooh, this was a pretty one. That was some sort of a Stuart Simple experiment. This is on rice paper, so it tore. Because when this gets wet, it's pretty much mush. But had to try it. Some glassine, gold foil. That's an interesting background one. I really should do something with these now that they're out. So you can see shadows of PM. I think that was the 3-ring circus up top here. I don't know what was down the bottom. But when it goes on the edge, you can see I used some kind of color shift in there. Can you see any purple? Let me see if I can make it come up purple. I'm seeing a lot of purple. It's so funny. These color shift acrylics are really hard to show on the camera. It's so much purple in this here. You'll have to stop over and see it. Clearly, that's not going to catch it. All through here, there's purple. Just going to have to believe me. I'm not a very believable character, but that's where we are. Lara Lou! Hello, Dumpling. How are you? Here, this is glassine paper. I like to hear it crunch. And that's the PM Artist. I hate calling them doilies, but I think that's what it is. I never get the name. I don't get the names of mine right. This was just a background that I picked up. It's got some really cool little bits in there that I cleaned the jelly plate up with the rice paper. That's a fragile job right there. And as you can see, it tore here and it tore down here. But all in all, it's got some really interesting backgroundy kind of stuff on it. And here's the Uncle Joe shadow technique that P does on their channel, where she lifts and rolls the stencil and picks up paint over and over. You can't really see all the layers. There you go. You can see a little bit better. There's a lot more layers in there than one might first think. This one's cool in person too. You see some blue and green and gold and real sketchy little bits through there. There's pieces of brilliance in there. I mean, this is nothing that there's no skill in this. That's the luck of what's left on the plate and what color you pick it up with. Trust me, skill level, zilcho. This one, can you see that in person? Sort of. That brilliant turquoise. I think this was a Pebeo paint. See that flash of that bright, brilliant blue in there? But sometimes you don't see it. Right, that's on glassine. This was a different color combo. I don't know what the hell I was doing there, but that's a good old Uncle Joe on black tissue. A lot of different metallics in there. See the Uncle Joe stencil? Coffee rings, I think it's called. I think Kathy had me do this one too, and this came out really cool that I cleaned up with. Look at all the little crusty bits of PBO in there through that stencil. I think that's one of Jackie Jimerson's stencils, actually. So there's moments of brilliance in there. You look at the whole thing and like, I don't know. But then you look at, like, for instance, this little strip here. Not so bad. Bye, Z. Yeah, I'm about ready to crash it myself. 4 o'clock, I told my mom I'd be back up there. So I don't want to get punished. These were just cleaning up Pete's little Christy bits. This one's good. This one's on Deli. That's got some Stuart Simple in there. See how the white bubbled up? I was mixing it with some Jay Davenport's Mermaid inks, the Stuart Simple White 2.0. That's on black paper. A little more Uncle Joe. It was a little Uncle Joe kick. I liked Uncle. Who's my favorite uncle? I never had. That's an unusual combination of colors. This one's kind of cool. That's my pictograph. It's kind of shadowed in there. I have no idea how that ended up that color. We never know. Most of these things are one and done. I liked how watery that one looked. When you see it up close, it's pretty cool in some spots. This is another glassine print. I had indigo underneath and it crinkled on the glassine. It crinkles a lot and leaves streaks like that on the plate. That's a stencil and some Robins. Here's some Stuart Simple Madness. I just like how that looks. Very watery. I'm amazed you remember as many as you do. Hey, you know, there's something left up there, but not much. Couldn't tell you what I had for breakfast. Most likely nothing. That's kind of easy to remember, actually. That has a kind of a galaxy edge to it. Oh, these were on... Oh, I know what it was. That paper, sketch paper pad. It's rice paper, but it's called sketch paper. And that's got some... It's like slick on the back, but rice paper kind of texture on the front. And that's got some little bits of brilliance in it here and there. Because most of the time when I do these, I know I'm going to tear them up and use them in a collage at some point, somewhere down the road. Oh Lord, did you hear that? My mom's cussing a football game. Oh mercy! Oh, this was one of my favorites, and I wish I could duplicate that, but who the hell knows how? Look at this section here with the blues and the purples and golds and black, and this little bit over here. No clue how that happened. But that's one of my favorites. I think I've scanned this one. This one came out kind of cool. This is glassine. I cut it down because it was on a big piece of glassine. Kind of looks like a, I don't know. Oh, here's a copy of that I took. And more. Oh, here we go. See, that's the one I was putting foil in the plate. Take little foil, gold leaf or gold, gold leaf, and just dot it, let it stick every once in a while on the plate, and see how you can see those speckles get pulled off randomly. And it stays on the print. That's in the acrylic paints holding that down. Here's another one. I think all of these will have some in there. I figured that out by mistake one time. Got some leaf on my plate and was pulling prints like, where the hell is this gold coming from? It's on the plate. It's a purple one. And one of the blues. And Uncle Joe and a little foil coming off on Uncle Joe. Do you think I like doing these? My arms are getting tired. Thanks for dropping by, Peg. Take care. And these were, they're PM. Are they donuts? They have like, they're kind of distressed with holes in them and rough edges. But look how watery that looks. That's just with the Stuart Simple white. And I think there was a little remaining purple on the plate. You can see it down here. This is one with my cave etching stencil kind of in the background. Here's one that I cleaned the plate with the Julie Faye Fanbalzer Believe stencil text, and how it comes out with just the bubbly looking gold and then the black text. Here's another Uncle Joe. That's a flashy one. Uncle Joe was flashy that day. Oh my goodness, how many more of these? I was on a roll with these bad boys. This was what was that? That was a different kind of paint. It'll hit me one day. See how those circles, or the big circles, are kind of repeated? I put like a big round, maybe a circle and a half, of the Stuart Simple paint and then took my brayer and kept rolling it. And it was wrapped around the brayer, so it would leave part of a circle as the brayer went up and down the paper. And that's how that look came about. Same here. What the hell is that? I see some cave etching remnants underneath there. That must have been left over from that attempt at something. And see this one, you can see the pinholes in it again. Really gives it a lot of texture. That's, oh, you know what? So these are the ones that I did this in white and bronze. I think my stencil was in bronze. And then the white circles. And then I took those little tiny bottles of the Stuart Simple color shift paints. And I don't know which one this is. And you probably won't be able to see it. Yes, you can. See the blue and kind of green sheen on the top of it? Will the purple show up? See if I can kind of curl it. Sometimes that helps. You can see the turquoisey, and you come up to a cobalt at some point. That damn purple just is not going to show. Kind of a little hint of it by my thumb, but you can't. That's so frustrating. I can see it so plainly here, but trust me, that looked good in person. There's Uncle Joe's relative. I forget what that one was. Oh, here's the one I said is my favorite print of ever. And this is the bronze that was picked up looking real liquidy. See the splatters around the edges? It was one of those real wispy prints. And then I put white, rolled it out on the plate and let it beat up. And I picked it up. That was the reverse print of my cave etching stencil. You can see it kind of puckered on the back. And the white paint, the Stuart Simple white paint, on this black paper, it pulls some of the pigment out and makes it this cool gray blue color instead of white. And that over the bronze and those little holes, let me try to show it up close. It looks like it's a 3D map of something or some old artifact. It's so cool. It's just like that all over the whole thing. It's one of my favorites. These were some of Robin's other art foamies in the gold over her printables. It's another one. Other ones. So these are, if you're buying art foamies and you want more of Robin's, these are art foamies, different text. Oh, that's the copy of that one. And see this black, those dots? That's the Stuart Simple Black 3.0. And how it beads up on my plate over top of one of Robin's printables. And it had picked up a little foil here and there that was on my plate. What is that? That's heavy paper. I don't know what the heck that is. Whoa, that one's flashy. That had one of the color shifts over top of that. That's got a green color shift over it. You can kind of see that green on top of there. What the heck is this? Oh, you know what? These are some of those Photoda pictures that I printed off my phone, where you can pick however many pictures of your own stuff that you want, and then it mixes them, layers them, puts filters, changes the size of them, and they just come out really cool. But if you aren't watching your printer, it comes out like this instead of full sheet. So you gotta be mindful of what you're doing, but that's all they are. It's funny how you can look at those and just see deeper and deeper into them what all is. What pictures you picked. Then you can go in and edit some of them out, and it's pretty cool little app for free. Actually, I paid I think $2.99 or something to be able to do all the fancier stuff to it. It's like one of those rabbit holes you start with, and then 4 hours later, you're still making Photoshop pictures. Make it stop. All right, kids. Mama going to wrap it up. I am getting a little weary. Don't have much stamina these days. But at least I got on to say hi and maybe talk you into spending more of your money. Treat yourself to a Christmas present. Buy some inks. All right, put this stuff in here. This will be sorted out another day. It's not going to be today. So again, one more time, let me put this out there. Here are Robin's latest art foamies. And again, I forget which ones go with which, but there's 2 sets of 4. I think it's like this. These 4 and these 4 maybe, and then the free script one. And 15% off anything that you buy today. That code expires tonight. Oh, thanks, Ann. PTP share 15. Over here in the right window, PTP share 15. That's the code to use on the artfoamies.com website if you want to get 15% discount. And if you buy both sets of Robins again, then you get the script one for free. So I'm wrapping her up, kids. Thank you so much for you guys hanging with me. Last notice. At least something remains the same. Never know what the hell I'm doing till the last minute. Oh, that's the one with the black and bronze paint on the jelly plate, and then using the jelly plate as an ink pad and stamping it on paper. Here's kind of a little bit of everything, some borders. Okie dokie, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully I'll be able to do this again before we're all old. Thanks again, guys. If I don't get back on for some reason, happy holidays to everybody. I hope they're healthy and safe and prosperous, but healthy and safe overall. I guess that's it. Bye for now. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it.